Welcome back to Love Work. The election's heating up, and we're moving forward with our candidate series, starting with the next episode we'll be doing. Today we're pleased to introduce a fine woman, Miss Janet Aldrich. I was referred to Janet by Chris Mader, and I'm looking forward to working with her and her group, CR News Team Group. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming. I've been talking to Chris a lot and reading your information, and you've got quite a group there. It's Film Registry, which is the organization. Do you want to fill the audience in on how you started that and what its purpose is?
Sure. So I'm Janet Aldrich, and I'm from Hamilton, Massachusetts. I went to the State House in 2003 during the marriage rallies, and that's pretty much how it started. I was 60.
This is the Massachusetts State House, right?
Yeah, I was 60 years old, and I had time on my hands. I'm a senior. I live in senior housing, which gave me some free time, and I was always interested in being a reporter, but never happened. But I stumbled on this assignment and became a videographer first. I started covering rallies, and then I went inside the State House and asked about getting copies of the committee hearings that were related to the press, to all the stuff that was going on outside. And they informed me that they no longer in Massachusetts complied to the public record law. They weren't under it. And, I thought I was confused. So I stayed on that same story. I asked everyone in the State House for let's say 7 years, that same question.
Yeah.
And I was being told I couldn't tape public hearings. And I kept getting legal answers from people that were in the legal field and telling me that's wrong.
Yeah.
You can tape, any citizen can tape a public hearing.
Yep.
As long as the public has been invited, any citizen can grab their camera and go in. The obstacle I ran into was they told me I had to have permission. So I looked for a long time getting answers on that one. And finally it broke through my brain that we needed only to give them notice.
Right.
And so in 2010, I walked around Massachusetts State House with a pink slip, and I gave them all a pink slip, every senator, every rep, and told them that they had failed to keep the public record.
Very good.
But at that, and I also had covered 100 public hearings end to end myself that year.
Wow.
And I have totaled 500 public hearings.
Wow.
Since I have more than that actually, but I stopped counting.
Yeah.
And my goal is to create an online public library like Lexis. And if anyone has gone to court like you, you know that the lawyers have access to Lexis. And I thought the people should have access to these public hearings. And so it's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
But it also, what I've tried to do is to, like we were talking earlier, Reagan said, tear down that wall. I say, tear down this wall because the public are coming.
Right.
And so what I've done, just from being resisted and having to take measures to be able to tape, I created a press name for myself, which is Catch of the Day Video News.
Yeah.
And then I created a group, ComFilm, COMFLM. This is it here. It won't fall out. Oops, yes, it will.
Yes, it will.
So this is it, ComFilm. And that stands for Commonwealth of Mass Freelance Media.
That's awesome.
COMFLM. And then CR News Team is Commonwealth of ComFilm Registry News. So, and then it's a team. So my goal is to have people who really have an interest in becoming a reporter to use this platform to get training And I took the cable access class myself, and I found that that was perfect.
Yeah.
A perfect platform for just everyday person to make use of this wonderful studio to learn how to have a show and to actually have a press pass. So this is the press pass that I created. I had it inspected by the Secretary of State's office. This is me. So one side is the person and one side is the press pass.
Now, Janet, you talk about the training, and that's something I definitely wanted to get into more. The training, is it just cable access TV training, or is there different types of training?
Well, initiating a training is really if no one has any training at all, I tell them they have to take the public access training in their town.
Right.
And then they come to me and order a press pass. Now, the training from that time on is really one-on-one. We have 27 members. And I can give you a reference to a gentleman in Beverly who was having a problem trying to capture all the issues on Common Core.
Okay.
Dr. Michael Gendry. He's an interesting person to have on as well.
Well, I was talking with David Love, and he's very anti-Common Core. And
there's so many issues.
Oh yeah.
And this was my something that I had to process was how to stay without an opinion as a member of the press. And so because of the training, what I try to do is tell people, pick your story and don't cover everything.
Right.
So Michael picked Common Core. He's now like the chief videographer for Common Core. He took the cable access class. He had a show, Education Straight Up. I mean, and so this is like a stepping stone. And the public might not always have a cable access system.
Right.
Everything gets upgraded, and there might be something else that will come along that will just blow this away. And, I say, God forbid that people don't take advantage of what's available to them right now.
Now, let me ask you this. Once the training is completed and all the other requirements are met, which I'll let you discuss a little bit, do you need the same credentials, not so much to film it, but to post it on social media, or does it matter where you're posting or showing the film that you've gotten?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. I'm on Facebook. I use Facebook for news. So my Facebook page is my name, but it's also, you can also find it with Catch of the Day Video News or Film Registry. Right. And I've told people when they get on there, I do not want your family's information on my page, okay? I'll drop you. This is a news page. So what's happened, I have 27 members.
Yeah.
So they will post stories that they're finding, and it just pops up on your page. So it's kind of like a feeder, if you're, the news, CBS has, things on the bottom, runs across the bottom of the screen, such and such is happening. And that's how I look at this group.
Okay.
And I had 600 film done, recorded of the State House on Blip TV. And Blip TV was more or less benefacted by Bain Capital. And they all of a sudden called me in 2011 and told me they were now taking them down. And I said, well, why? I mean, is it, if there's been a complaint? No, we have just changed what we want to film, what we want up here. And they promised me that they would stay there forever. So people have to understand that as things upgrade, things are going to be deleted. So my goal is to treat the footage on Beacon Hill, and that this group is around the recording of Beacon Hill, getting those public hearings. So members cover one public hearing a year, and there's close to 300, so maybe a little more. So if we have the 350 members in Massachusetts that I'm trying to get, every meeting will be covered. I need water.
Yeah. Can we get Janet a glass of water?
Sorry.
Now, the reason that I'm extremely excited about this is that I've been, over the last couple of months anyways, I've been doing a lot of work with candidates and trying to gain access to the State House. And it's very difficult, and I found that there are so many things wrong with mainstream media. There's they're very into the two-party system, and I've worked with a lot of libertarians up to and since the election, and I've met a few more, and it's like they're like the ugly sister nobody wants to talk about, the Libertarian Party. And I've myself and Babette both called Channel 9 the other day, asking why are you not, they're showing Sununu, they're showing Kelly what they're doing on a daily basis. Where's Gilletta Jarvis in this? She's the Libertarian candidate for governor. She should be given equal access. And it's just not there, and they won't get back to me, So to be able to have access myself to these events would be just, I think I'd be able to use it to help eliminate the two-party system.
Yeah, and that's why I'm very excited about you wanting to help start a New Hampshire chapter, because my goal is to do this nationally. So we have members in Rhode Island. I have somebody in Colorado right now, and they're still working, and because they had the press pass, they were able to get into a lot of things locally, and they were surprised that the press pass worked. So this press pass, I have wanted to have authenticated or by the governor's office, and they have not wanted to let me get the group in. They said, "Oh, we'll let you in." I said, "No, I'm the head of a group." Okay,
Right.
So what I want to do is manage the press that come through the State House doors, and say, yes, this person's legitimate, and let them in. You know what I mean? If they want to cover the State House on a regular basis, maybe then they could go in and get their own private special pass through the State House, but they will not do that.
Right.
So I was
crazy.
involved for this so long when Stan Rosenberg was in charge of getting cable access or getting coverage from the Senate, and he's done a lot of work behind the scenes on that. He blocked me many, many times. Finally, he gave in, and I would get to these meetings, and but really, it was like he wanted to ignore me, like I really wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I'm used to this, so I'm on the front lines, and the average person doesn't need to go in with the expectation of getting a story and then have to fight all of these systems that will come out and try to fight you.
Yeah.
But I've been to D.C. and I'm registered with them, and the last time I went to an event, I got right in. They just threw me in.
That's awesome.
And then I was on the Green covering a story down there, and I said, I have a few other people here that are members, and they said, well, tell your colleagues to come over here. And I was so excited.
That's great.
So we got on the media platform, and I told them I didn't haul a big camera, but I'm definitely filming. So they were the media with the great big cameras, and I'm there, sitting on the ground practically with my little camera, which I want to show people. And that's why I brought all this stuff up here. People
This
will
is the
say,
camera that you use.
I've used many different cameras. I should really be doing the advertising for cameras. But this is a JVC camcorder. And it's a very easy camcorder. I have several of this brand. This one does not have an external mic, but it has terrific ambient sound. So it's perfect when you're in a crowd outside. Now, you're not going to get, what I like, my theme, is to get it as it is. I want the atmosphere of the meeting. I want everything in it. So, but what is lovely about this is the camcorder. You can get these, they're up to $600, $700, but you can get them secondhand on eBay.
Craigslist, yeah.
And I got this one new. I got it at one of the stores here, and then it was on sale. And but you probably use monopods, but this is just a monopod they sold in Radio Shack for $10.
Oh, nice.
And look at how high it goes.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see this. So when I'm in a crowd, or if I'm with a fleet of press, then I can throw this up in the air, and I have been known to get right into someone's face
Awesome.
that's being videotaped for press, and I get the best sound and everything,
Wow.
and I'm like a submarine.
Cool.
So I want to say that this is kind of, I hope I'm sending the message that this is fun, that this is exciting,
Yes, I
and
can
that
attest
I
to
have
that.
created a way for the average citizen to really get in the mix. Tape the press. If you don't like what they're doing, make that your story. That's what I've done in Massachusetts.
That's my goal. That's one of my goals. I'm really looking forward to this. You know, wow. It's incredible how fast time flies. I thought we were, it seems like we just started talking. And it's funny, when we got here, Janet gave me a bunch of information that unfortunately, this came on really quick, and we weren't able to meet before the show. But Janet has agreed to come back on after the election once we're done with the candidate series. And we're going to get more into the functions of, I wanted to talk about Corey and all the other things involved, but we can get into that next time.
Okay,
and,
that's fabulous.
And to be honest with
I would
you,
love to come on. We can
as long
talk
as we're
for an
working
hour
together.
next time.
Well, that's the thing. What I'm thinking is you can come back, you know, time and again. You
And
can be a
tell
regular
people
guest.
to bring their notebooks
Yeah,
and
right.
take notes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Janet, I'm looking forward to working with you closely, much closer than we have been. Today's actually the first time we really met in person, but I'm going to give Chris Mater a big hug for referring me to you, and I look forward to coming back.
And hopefully we'll start something new in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's definitely. I'm all
fabulous.
in on that for
Thank
sure.
you so much for having me on.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you. It was great. It was great getting to know you, and I look forward to doing more in the future. Okay. This is the. We're going to do our regular closing, and it won't be the same as it normally is because of an incident that happened in our lives this week. I was talking with Babette before the show, and it's kind of ironic that it's a dank, cloudy, yucky day in New Hampshire today, in Derry anyways. There's been a black cloud over all of Derry for the last 5 days. 4 years ago, I moved into my current residence 4.5 years ago. And 2 months after I moved in, the apartment across the hall from mine was rented out to a woman named Leslie Hilt. Now, it's a close-knit apartment building, and all of the neighbors know each other and are pretty much friends. But Leslie and I became really close. For the last probably 3 years anyways, every day I'd get home from work at 7 in the morning, and by 7:30 she's over and we're having a cigarette and talking and laughing. She added something to my life that I can never replace. Last week, she's been on disability because she's been waiting for a liver transplant, and she was in the final stages of getting all the testing done to get that completed, and she decided to take a vacation to California to see her family, her sisters, and friends. And while she was out there, she got real sick, and she went into a coma 2 Fridays ago, and they had her on life support. And over the next 6 days, her organs began to fail, and on Thursday she passed away. And it's devastating to me. Spent most of the weekend, crying my eyes out. And, I told Babette, and we cried together, and we laughed a lot, because Leslie added some amazing things to our life. The three of us would sit and talk and laugh, and out of nowhere she'd make up a song, with stupid lyrics, and we'd just laugh. And she always knew me. She knew me better than anyone. She knew when to leave me alone. She knew when I needed a hug. She knew when I needed a laugh, and she provided. And she's one of the greatest friends I'll ever have. But I mentioned Babette, and for the first time in our history, Babette's coming out from behind the camera, because Babette was just as close to Leslie as I am, and she had something she wanted to say. So Babette, why don't you fill the folks in?
Hi, I'm Babette Fitzgerald. I actually wrote this down because I thought it would be easier that way. And what I wrote is that our community lost a very special person last week. Her name was Leslie Hilton. She was a kind, caring, amazing woman, and I was fortunate to have known her as all who knew her. She could make you laugh or listen as you cried. I admired and respected this woman so very much. She was a loving mother, as is witnessed through the beautiful daughter she leaves behind. That's her gift to the world. She deserves so much more than she ever got, and yet I never remember hearing her complain about anything. She was a beautiful spirit that I will never forget, and I want her daughter and her family to know that the whole community mourns her passing. We love you, Leslie, and we'll never forget you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. It's a difficult time for all of us, and I'm glad I've been able to hold my emotion in check. It has been the case. Everyone who knew Leslie was touched by her in a positive way. I could go on for an hour about what an amazing woman she is, but all you have to do is look at her daughter Cameron, and you'll see the woman she was. And wow. Anyways, I want to thank Babette for sharing that. Like I said, it's been hard. It's been very difficult, and we helped each other get through it, and we will continue to do so, and we will grow. And today we were lucky to add a lovely young lady, Janet Aldrich, to our family, and we're looking forward to working with Janet and on film and making a difference, making the changes that we keep talking about. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be getting back to our candidate series next episode. We'll be filming again in 2 weeks. Our scheduled guests coming up over the next before the election. We've got Al Baldessaro, Gary Hopper, Dan Belforti, and Ann Kopp at least. Also on October 20th at Josh Borden's Grind Rail Trail Cafe in Wyndham, we'll be doing a meet and greet, and I hope to have as many candidates. We had 7 at the meet and greet before the primary. I'm hoping to double that maybe there, and then we'll be doing another one at Mary Ann's the day before the election, the general election on November 6th. So keep those in mind, those of you here in Derry and in the area, and get to know your candidates, get to know the process. Last time we were on, Chris Mader gave a great synopsis on so many different things, and Janet's given us a pathway to make that happen. So thank you, Janet, and I really want to give a special thanks to the production team here at Derry TV. Owen and Johnny and Russ have really taken what we started and made it a lot better process, a lot better viewing experience, and allowed us to get the information that we feel necessary to get out there. And I can't thank them enough for allowing us to use the studio and be a part of their team. So until next time, remember, love is just a word, so you give it meaning.